What is up, YouTube? It's your boy RisKK here, back again with another video, and this one I'm gonna show you guys what I think is the best guard build in NBA 2K20. And if you guys are active on my channel, you would have noticed that I do upload a lot of these build videos, but I have slacked off a little bit on them. And when it comes to an actual guard build, like a serious guard to run the point guard position, I don't think I've uploaded one, since the demo of the game, which is why I'm bringing this video to you guys. So in this video, I'll be featuring a playmaking shot creator. Similar playstyle, kind of like Kyrie Irving in real life. That's what I'm aiming for with this build. So if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure you drop a like and a sub if you have not yet, and hit that little notification bell on the top right of that subscribe button to be notified every time I upload the video. And besides that, let's get right into the build.
She know I keep the bag on me. How I got a couple racks on me. I'ma hit it, then I dip. No, I do not trust a bitch, cause they all be the same to me. All these thoughts always running through my head. I'ma get the bag, double back for the bread. I'd rather smoke a blunt, kicking back in my bed. And yeah, she in my line, cause she know I'm getting bread.
So obviously for starters, we'll be choosing the skill breakdown, or I guess you could call it a pie chart. And we're pretty much going to go through the pie charts that we think, would make sense logically. And those are going to be the ones that have a shooting, a decent shooting. When we say decent shooting, anything above 75 three-pointer, I think is something that you could use to run the point guard, as you'll be able to green if left wide open. This pie chart right here being the lowest three-pointer. But when you look at this one, for example, you could see the main, part of it, if you look in the pie chart, is going to be that playmaking, which means that you're only able to get Hall of Fame playmaking badges. So it eliminates the opportunities to get a or not a playmaking, but a shooting or a finishing Hall of Fame badge. Same thing with this pie chart right here. Half of it is defense, half is shooting. That means I cannot get Hall of Fame playmaking badges. You see, but now when you go with this pie chart, it is half, dribbling, half shooting, which means I could get both those Hall of Fame, and it actually has an 84 three-pointer and an 88 ball handle, which allows me to speed boost, 24/7. And then when we look at the last pie chart here with the 83-pointer, just like the other ones, it's shooting and slashing, which means I cannot get Hall of Fame playmaking badges. So we rule that pie chart completely out, which leaves this one alone for itself, the 84 3-point, 88 ball control. Now, on the physical profile, for all my builds, I usually select this one, the last one, the most, balanced one. When we think about a guard, we think about, quickness. So there shouldn't be no debate when selecting this. We're obviously going to pick the one that has the highest speed. Now, remember, with this build, we're going for, a playmaking shot creator type build that plays like Kyrie Irving. So we think of dribbling, shooting, and, just that, kind of the acrobatic layup, stuff like that along those lines. But then we're also going to try to, incorporate, how 2K plays this year. So as you see, we're obviously going to go shooting and playmaking max. But when I refer to the fact of, how 2K works, this is the part of the build where, it's going to shift a little bit away from Kyrie Irving. And we're going to upgrade defense, all right? Kyrie Irving is not a defender. But in 2K, especially, with this build, which I think is going to be mainly, dominant on the twos core, I think having, those defensive badges will make a tremendous effect and impact on the way you play, being able to actually get stops. Because as you know, in this game, it's pretty simple to score. It's either, you just spam the behind the back around the screen. So, being able to have the pick dodge or the intimidator, close out on the, the shooters off these OP dribble moves will actually, benefit you long term. Rather than having these slashing badges, they really, are unnecessary when you can shoot the ball extremely well. So you see, I pretty much have been playing around, with the little attributes. You can follow along or just skip to the end of, when I select these attributes. But I'm just kind of playing around and, ensure that I get the most possible, badge points and stats out of, the entire build. Because you don't want to, mess up and then end up making a whole new build, and wasting 200 KVC again, just to adjust, one or two attributes. It really sucks. So this happened to me before. So as you see, we are going to finish off with an 84 three-pointer, the 88 ball control. We get my driving dunk max to 69 and driving length to 65. You'll see exactly why my driving dunk is maxed at 69 and why I didn't upgrade more of my driving layup. The defense, obviously, the defensive stats are looking pretty good for the fact that we do have defensive upgrade rebounding, which is kind of useless. But, I mean, ultimately, we need that because that alone provided us 6 defensive badges, as you saw when I was, playing around with the defensive attributes. So that's why I do have defensive rebounding, even though it's not going to affect my player and how I play, because obviously I'm not going to be getting rebounds. It will make a difference on the defensive end when it comes to the badges. Regarding the attributes, that's pretty much it. So now we're gonna move on to the rest of the upgrades, like the weight, wingspan, height, etc. So obviously you can select your body type. You could do whatever you want. Doesn't make a difference in how you play. It's personal preference. Now the height is a really big thing. Now I'm gonna explain in detail, right, to make sure you guys understand this concept when it comes to the guards. So as you see, when you first look at the max height for a point guard 6'6", you notice a lot of red. All right, the main red we're looking at is the playmaking, because if you look at the three-point shot, -2 is not going to really affect me. The defensive end, I'm not really losing out on too much. I'm actually gaining a lot. But when you look at the playmaking, the ball handle is going down by -9, and it'll leave me at a 79, which means I will not be able to speed boost, possibly until 99 overall. And being a ball dominant point guard, that's not something we want to risk. When you go to 6'5", you see you lose less, and the ball handle goes to 84. So that means once you lower the wingspan, you will have an 86 ball control off rip. But when you take a look at your physical, you see your speed and acceleration drop tremendously. They drop down -3. And you remember, speed kills, so we want to get the most possible speed, as we can. So that's why, we move down to 6'4". All right, and now at 6'4", you'll notice, all right, there is less red. The chart is pretty much filled with green. There's nothing really that goes down. Except obviously our ball handle, but you see the ball handle that drops down is very, very minimal. And then the defensive end, we're getting a lot of pluses. And then also, when you look at the physical attribute, we also are saving, that extra +1 speed, and compared to the 6'5". And you might ask, well, why don't you go 6'3" if you're so concerned about speed and the stats? I mean, it's just because, at 6'4", I feel like I don't know, this is something about 6'4" that you play better. And also, you could always get, Superstar 3 or the Gym Rat badge to, later on get those +4 stats to your physicals, and then up your speed at that point to 92, and the acceleration even higher. So that's why with the final height, I ended up going with 6'4", because I think that's when I'm going to get the most out of the build. Now, going with the weight, there is no question here at all. We're going minimum weight. As you see, the acceleration goes up to 92, which means once you do get your gym badge that I just talked about, you will have a maximum acceleration of 95, so that will not, be something to worry about. Same thing with the wingspan. You're going to go to minimum wingspan because, remember, we have those defensive badges to help us play defense. That's why the wingspan is not important, and we're able to use it to, get our three-point shot and ball handle up even higher. As you see, we get an 88 three-point shot, which means at 99 overall, we get a 92 three-point shot, which is incredible. Now, choosing our takeover, we're going to cross out Playmaker takeover. It's not that good this year, but a lot of people are still debating over spot up shooter and shot creator. And personally, I like shot creator because spot up shooter, yes, it does increase your range, which is, is very nice, obviously. But I just think shot creator, it makes your player quicker, allows you, to get better animations. You could actually break ankles. And overall, I think I just play better with it. And for a guard who's running the one consistently, I think you'll fare off better with the shot creator takeover. And overall, just the most safe option to go with. Now, as you see, we do build a playmaking shot creator, which in past 2Ks, as you know, we know what Kyrie Irving's build is always labeled as. And it does not say we're similar to him because obviously we have the such higher of a three-point shot with the 88 after lowering the wingspan. So it is going to, compare us to players like Steph Curry because we do have an incredible three-point shot. Now we're going to, finally move on to the last part of this video, which is going to be obviously the badge selection. And I mean, when I actually was making this build, as you could tell, I really focused deeply on the badge points because that's ultimately what makes this build so overpowered. It's not more of the stats, it's more of these badges. All right, so when we take a look at these badges, all right, we get one finishing badge. So there's a few we could select from, like for example, contact finisher. We could get giant slayer, fancy footwork, pro touch, slithery finisher. There's a lot of decent ones that we could choose from, but overall, from my experience, because I am a slasher, I have a really good slasher build. I think by far, without question, the best finishing badge is going to be slithery finisher. And the reason I say this is because contact finisher, right, it helps you with contact layups and dunks. We already have such a low rating. I feel like I'm still going to miss it if I get contact. If I get extreme contact, that badge will be useless due to my low rating. And just every other badge, I feel like once again, just to my rating, I don't think will be very effective. But slithery finisher has nothing to do with my rating, and it will just actually, prevent the contact, which overall I think is the best option. But you could always play around with that later on into the build. Now with the shooting, we're gonna go, with the 5 Hall of Fame badges that are most obvious off the bat. It's gonna be Quick Draw, Range Extender, Hot Zone Hunter, and Green Machine. All right, now that leaves us with 6 upgrades left. And, this is honestly, quite interesting, all right? Because, as a point guard, we think of catch and shoot. Do we need it? All right, and I think having catch and shoot is important because yes, at times you'll miss a shot, your center will get a rebound and kick it right back out, and that's when you're gonna want that badge. But that's why we don't need a Hall of Fame, because the ball is mostly gonna be in our hands. So that's why I decided to go with silver, which leaves a few more badge upgrades left, and I end up putting the rest of Deadeye and Tireless Shooter silver because I think Deadeye will help when I'm running the guard. Obviously, the guard closing out on me, or the opposing guard or the opposing lockdown closing out on me will be reduced. And then Tireless Shooter I think also is a must. A lot of guards don't run it. I hate to see when they don't use it because this will actually affect your percentage. If you have Hall of Fame floor general, it's very easy to tell your percentage of making a shot goes down by like 10% when you have no stamina. So then now moving into the playmaking badges, once again, there's a few really obvious ones that we're going to begin with, being quick first step, handles for days. You're going to make sure you want both of those. And then when it comes to diamond and floor general, you could pick and choose between one or two of them. I think if you're just picking between both of them, I think diamond is most important and more essential, as it will overall provide a greater boost. Now, I decided to put Bailout on gold, as I think Bailout is a very good and underrated badge. I've seen Ticino use it if you watch any of his recent gameplays. That badge saves him so much and allows him to be, much more creative on the offensive end, being able to pass out of, these shots. Now, with the remaining badge points, there isn't much left to do, so I end up putting on floor general for the fact that, as you see, Unpluckable is something that's not needed in this game, alright? Unpluckable is useless, so that's why I don't need to waste badge points on it there. And we have 4 left, which I actually put onto Space Creator, but I might change this later on. You could really just play around with that last, Hall of Fame badge. But I think Space Creator is alright, and obviously, due to, what you're doing, you could maybe, exchange it for Lob City Passer, Flashy Passer, or whatever. But I feel like the other badges, like Ankle Breaker and Tight Handles, are just not worth it when it comes to the core gameplay of this game, because I've honestly never seen somebody get an ankle breaker, very often. Now, these defensive badges, this is also a very interesting one, because obviously the most important ones, if you are playing twos or just in general, are going to be the Pick Dodger and the Intimidator, and then obviously Clamps. So right here we have 2 upgrades left. You have the choice of, putting Pick Dodger and Intimidator to gold, or you could take those off gold, put it back to silver, and put on the silver Pickpocket, which actually that's what I end up going with, because I think the Pick Dodger gold and Intimidator, obviously gold, are going to be nice, but I think just being able to have that Pickpocket silver when most cards do not run Unpluckable is going to be a game changer. And with that, that's all the badges, all the attributes, and everything you need to know about this Kyrie Irving playmaking shot creator build. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video. Make sure you drop a like and a sub if you have not yet, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified right away when I upload. Other than that, it's your boy RisKK, and I'm out.
It's funny how now she be calling me back. She see that I got it, I'm stuck in the trap. 40 autos, and we put it right back. 40 autos, and he left in the back. I can't be trusting cause people just act. I get the money, I run it right back. The plug on my phone, I get to these racks. The plug on my phone, I'm gonna get back. I can't be trusting cause people be switching and